Hi YouTube friends, today we're going to be talking about Idaho weather. And Idaho weather is very different in the north versus the south and in the center of the state. But overall, we'll be talking about average weather patterns. That'll include temperature, precipitation, snowfall, storms, and any other inclement things that might happen like rivers and flooding. And I think that's a hot button right now. We are in February and Southern California is getting flooded and nobody wants to be flooded. So let's take a look at the weather patterns, and I'm going to give you a brief overview of my anecdotal experience in the Treasure Valley. And Treasure Valley includes Boise, Meridian, Canyon County, like Caldwell, Nampa, Eagle, Kuna, as well as Garden City. And then also we do add Mountain Home because, you know, the valley sort of starts right there. It sort of opens up right in that beginning. So overall, if I can just explain a little bit about our anecdotal experience here in the Treasure Valley. So in the winter, we'll have temperatures, yes, maybe in the teens or maybe at 6 degrees if it's a severe year. Most of the time it'll be in the teens only a few times, and then it'll be in the 20s and then 30s and 40s as we head into spring. So like for instance, we're in February and we're in the 40s, and then next week we're going to be in the 50s. So that's the week of Valentine's. So you can see that the weather is actually pretty mild. Snowfall, we do get some snowfall. We had a record snowfall at the Boise airport this year in one day. But overall, we actually need more snow. We haven't had that much snow. So we get enough snow that it's annoying to shovel, and then it melts. So we'll have snow for a week and then it melts, and that's really all we've had this year, and this is 2024. So weather is really interesting here, very mild. It's also incredibly dry. So the humidity here is very low for a state that does get, you know, rainfall. So in the spring, springs are, you know, what do you wear in the spring in Idaho? In the spring, you'll have a vest on, and then like a long sleeve shirt, a vest on, and like a sweater coat. You take the sweater coat off, and then by midday you're taking the vest off, and then you're putting it back on by 3 or 4, and then you're putting your coat back on by 4 or 6 if you're going to be going out. So that's the kind of weather that can happen in spring. Spring is very up and down. Like it can be sunny and sunshiny, and then clouds roll in, we get a little rain, and then it gets sunny again, all in one day. It's really, really interesting here. And I actually love that because, you know, it is just nice to have something different. It's nice to have different kinds of weather. And when it's sunny here, it's amazing. It is just idyllic and dreamy, and it's like we're in a storybook all the time because especially the Treasure Valley, there's so much green and so many trees, and it's just so beautiful, and the river runs through it. And so people are just out and about all of the time. People start riding bikes in February here, which is really crazy, but they do. So our summers can be anywhere from, you know, 70s to 106, and it's rare that it gets to 106 or over 100, but it can get over 100 maybe a few times during the summer. And then fall, again, we have seasonal fall colors because we have so many trees. And we have those nice, beautiful fall crispy days, and maybe some frost will come on the grass in October, and then we head right into winter. So that's kind of an overview anecdotally of what I've experienced in the Treasure Valley. I've lived in a few different places in the Treasure Valley, and we do have some rental property also here. So if you need more explanation of that, just DM me and I'm happy to talk about the weather. I think weather is one of the main things that people are curious about when they want to move to Idaho, because they think Idaho is like Montana, and we are, especially the southern part of Idaho is not like Montana at all. It's a little bit more like the desert of Nevada, eastern Oregon. It's much more like northern Utah, and western Wyoming. So pretty mild compared to most of what happens in Montana in the winter. And those are the biggest, the winter's the biggest concern for most people who are coming, especially from, the southern states like southern, Texas and Arizona and California. Those states, people tend to be a little scared of what's going to happen here.
So let's start with sunshine. In the Treasure Valley, including Eagle and Boise, the number of sunshine days can exceed 200 days a year. Temperature at Swan Falls, the annual mean temperature is 55 degrees, the highest in the state. In Obsidian, at an elevation of 6,780 feet, and Custer County has the lowest annual average temperature of 35.4. Boise typically has 108 frosty nights a year. The coldest night drops down to below 0 degrees Fahrenheit. It normally only gets that cold here 1 or 2 times a year, usually in December or January. Precipitation: much of the upper Snake River Plains, Central Plains, and the lower elevations of the southwestern valleys receive less than 10 inches annually. Sizable areas in the Clearwater, Payette, and Boise River Basin receive an average of 40 to 50 inches per year. But here in the Boise and Treasure Valley area, including Eagle, it is roughly about 10 inches or less. Snowfall: the annual snowfall totals in Shoshone County have reached nearly 500 inches. That's a lot. The major mountain ranges of the state accumulated deep snow cover during the winter months, and the release of water from melting snowpack in late spring furnishes irrigation water for more than 2 million acres. Humidity in Idaho, where maximum temperatures are above 90 degrees, are not uncommon in July and August. The humidity at the time of the maximum temperature is usually below 25% and often down to 15% or lower. It's called being in high desert. Floods. Everybody's wondering about floods. Floods in Idaho occur most often during the period of seasonal snowmelt in spring, particularly in April and May. There are only a few areas in the state that are actually flooded or threatened by flood waters. Nearly every year, the Kootenai River Valley in the vicinity of Bonners Ferry is one such area, and another is at the Snake River upstream from Idaho Falls in the vicinity of Roberts and Minden. Fog. At Boise, heavy fog visibility 1/4 mile or less is experienced on an average of 17 days per year, with a maximum of 6 occurring in December. So not much fog.
So thank you so much for staying tuned for weather in Idaho. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you'd like to receive more videos like this. And be safe, be happy, and be home. Thank you so much. If you need more information about real estate in Idaho, don't forget we are real estate agents and we'd love to hear from you.